Hey, welcome back everyone to the Crossroads at Caen tournament hosted by MaxCov4 in the ranked section of the official Gates of Hell Discord. Today we've got game 2 of the semifinals, us against Meow 7. Last match we were able to take game 1 with a dominant victory as Germany. This time around we flip sides as it is standard, and Meow will now be taking the Germans. Wanting to put the semifinals behind us once and for all. We're not showing any restraint, and we will be taking the British to hopefully prevent this from getting to a game 3. And being one win away from the finals, everything is still at stake. We're going to go all out here and see what we can do. So we are playing on the Farmstead map. Meow says he's never played this doctrine before. And I know he's lying because he has thousands of hours in this game. So he's chatting me up as usual. We are playing as the offensive doctrine. Meow was kind enough to not go the British in game 1. He went with the US. We did go with the British, obviously, here. And we had a gentleman's agreement not to go for either of us, because I know if we do get to game 3, he is going to end up taking the British. We made a gentleman's agreement not to go with the irregular or all-around doctrines because of the somewhat more OP, I would say, DP Collins, so the Churchill Mark 8 and the Staghound CS armored car. Just being very, very good CS vehicles. Very hard to deal with them. So we're going with offensive doctrine. And we did rush out 2 squads right off the bat. We've got a nice contingent in the middle. And we're also pushing out heavy on the southwest point. We're going to try to get up on this hill and hopefully get some decent flank shots down into Meow behind this behind that house there. I want to try to keep him out of the middle as long as I can. And I also want to put as much pressure as possible, considering I can kind of afford that as the British here. So we're going to immediately call Squad 3 over to his point on the right. And maybe we will be able to do something there. So we shall see. But we've got some pretty good micro play from Meow. And he's pretty much wiped out the majority of the infantry that we've had in the middle, minus like 2 guys at this point now. So I'm expecting to lose middle, and I'm trying to figure out what my options are, especially as he's got a guy out on the flank. Probably could have diverted the squad that's going to go to his point to the middle if I wanted to play it a little bit better. There's a couple mistakes in this match that we'll see kind of play a part, and the half track here might be one of them. I wanted the half track because of the 50 cal. I felt that might be able to seriously shred the infantry in the middle if it was up on this hill. And this doctrine does have infantry call-ins with half tracks as well. So we will see throughout the match that I do utilize them fairly often as call-ins, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But half track is up. Our squad on the left, southwest point, has also kind of been decimated. We're down to just a couple guys as we try to get a lot of them into the middle, just to try to reinforce over there. We're able to kind of flip Meow's point, and we've got a nice line firing into his guys in the middle. We're going to try to get some of these guys up and down there now, and we're going to start digging in here, just to kind of prevent him from easily taking it back. But at this time, he's also pushing our point and is starting to flip it. So now we've got to kind of rotate back. It's some nice grenade. He got that grenade right through that slit in the window too, which is crazy. We're gonna bring over some more guys to our home point to try to flip the Caploid back. We're gonna call in another squad. Maybe instead of this half track, I probably should have gone with another squad just to get numbers out, because I've lost more than I probably should have too early. We do decrew the MG42 Lafayette that he called in, which is pretty nice. And we're able to get into the middle. Although I know he's got guys in every one of these buildings. And in the foxholes too. And he's on the other side of this building in our point. So we'll have to clear him out there. But we're back to technically capping all 3 points. We do have a 1 point, 1 point victory lead right now. So we're going to start accumulating. I'm trying to get the half track up to actually run over the Lafayette, which is part of the mistake that we play here, because he gets a really nice rifle grenade on it. We managed to take him out, but he did kill the gunner with the grenade. So I doubt, and then unfortunately an MG42 just shreds us with APCR. So half track goes down. It's in a very, easy, precarious position, so he can easily capture it. There's not really much I can do there. And the Lafayette's back up. And I do see he called in a Puma, so I know he went the all-around doctrine. So kind of wasted a half track there. Gave him a half track as well. Our guys are getting shredded by the Lafayette. He's got a huge contingent of guys coming into the middle. And he's also got a squad over on our point. Well, not really our point, but his point that we capped over on the church. So he's decimating our infantry. I'm going to call in a half track full of rifles to come up and try to help. We called in the Crusader AA. And I'm hoping that this will be able to shred a lot. We thankfully tank a Puma shot. So I want to get this thing up onto the hill here to try to deal with this infantry. And we're kind of out of line of sight of the Puma, which is pretty nice. There's a nice slight dip here, and he's not pushing us. So we're going to clear these guys out for the most part. Maybe get lucky. Yeah, I think there's like one guy left. And we'll use this half track, although this thing is probably a little too far up in terms of height as we saw that shot whiz by right there. So Meow's back to capping mid at this point fully. He's been able to dig in. I have not there. I'm going to push this squad out further. And this is probably the downside of going with these half tracks is the squads are much smaller. The normal squads are coming with 10-man squads. This is probably, I think, 8, with 2 of the guys being gunner and driver of the half track. So very, very unfortunate there. So we're going to be down numbers. So we're going to have to really kind of play the half tracks, technically, and hopefully use them to our advantage. But if we can make it work, we'll be able to kind of shred the infantry, especially as he's calling in some ersats. Cheap tier 1 infantry to try to deal with us. But we're not in the worst position having a 2-cap lead. As he brings over the Puma, and Puma's probably going to take out the half track. The only issue that I don't like about our position right now is the points that we actually control. I'd much rather control the middle and probably our home point instead of having control of the northeast hill and our home point here on the southwest, because any supporting units or vehicles that I'm going to call in, I kind of have to skirt around and I can't easily reinforce either point. So as we're seeing here, like I'm backing off from the Puma because the Puma is going to outrange me and probably take me out. So I always have to continually play that, unfortunately. And the positioning of the hill overlooking this point just really isn't beneficial. So I see he's bringing in another DP call-in, autocannon variant of the Puma. I forget the exact model. So I'm going to bring over the Crusader to try to deal with that. And I'm hoping he's distracted, and I might be able to get this Hawkins grenade on here. Looks like he might be, so we do get lucky. Notice it's right at the last second, but the engine is on fire. So unfortunate for him. We get a nice cheeky move there to deal with that. We've got no infantry, and I called in a Tetrarch, so this is another realistically bad buy. Probably didn't need the Tetrarch. Probably could have just continued skirting around with the Crusader AA. Tetrarch would have been extra infantry that I desperately needed on my home point. We do have a Piat, but he's kind of running away. He's skirting around us to get into a better vantage point. And our infantry is just getting shredded. And the half-track was unfortunately clicked to push up. So that's a mistake. We will lose that to the 2-3-4 by 1. That's what it is. And as we can see in the middle, he did recrew our half-track, but we can take it out. I'm going to push with the Tetrarch. Maybe see if we can take him out. We hit him once. And now he's just kind of bum rushing us. Well, he was kind of bum rushing us with infantry. Got to be careful with the Crusader A. I've got it in a really bad spot. I'm going to split this squad in the middle. And we're going to bring in this other squad to our home point while the Crusader A tries to deal with it. But I think we may have to split this squad as well to deal with it since we are capping. We lost the 2-3-4 in that time in the smoke behind the dip in the hill. It does take out the Tetrarch. So Tetrarch is a wasted buy 100%. And the Crusader A is also at HE, which is really unfortunate for us. So it's just fire and AP. We're going to have to get some ammo up. Trying to see if I've got maybe an ammo truck. I do not, so I'll have to get an ammo crate. Because we need this thing running HE as soon as possible. Especially since we just lost the hill to the northeast completely now. So hopefully we can flip our spawn point back. We're just barely holding on to his point, or the middle. He gets a very nice Panzerfaust 100 there. That takes out 3 of the crew, nearly kills the 4th. Doesn't destroy the Crusader though. So we are able to thankfully get that thing out, but we'll have to waste more MP on crewmen now as well that we probably desperately needed for infantry, considering I know how badly our infantry play is here. Really, really unfortunate. This map seems to be slightly favored towards the Axis. Definitely a lot harder to win as the Allies. So we're kind of already at a disadvantage to begin with. But this is I don't feel confident with our position, even though we're not doing terrible, but I just can't keep my numbers on the field like I normally can with playing as the British. So we definitely feel outgunned. And we just can't keep cap in the middle. I should be digging in, but I just can't. I don't know if I can't or if like I'm not even trying at this point and just trying to smoke out and then bum rush guys in there. But clearly my strategy is not working. And I just keep splitting squads to try to go deal with other points when I really shouldn't be. I realistically need all 10 men from each of these squads dealing with 1 point at a time. But we're going to try to do a drive-by with the Crusader A, hopefully deal with some of this infantry as ours is running in. Fortunately, he has the 2-3-4 by 1 in a very good position to take our guys out as they come in. Looking to see what our options are. He does pull out of there. We're not able to get a shot on him. So he is preventing us from ultimately getting in to the middle at this point. So I'm going to try to get these guys over onto the hill, see if I might be able to have a little bit of luck over there instead, considering I know the 2-3-4 is over on the west side of the map. And we're going to call in yet another half-track full of infantry. So my whole plan with the half-tracks was to use, like I was saying, the half-track itself as the support for my push. Probably not the best call. I think I'll keep repeating that as we kind of get through here and as I'm watching this back. We're going to bring over the Crusader to try to deal with this as well. And we have smoked out effectively for our push. And the half-track is coming in just in time to continue to support. So we'll get these guys out and into the point. And hopefully, since this is the second call and we are rocking a 50 cal on it instead of a 30, so hopefully this 50 can really shred. But we'll dig in foxholes, and now we're going to have to pull the Crusader back to our home point because he is yet again making another push. And the 234 is just going to kind of shred us, unfortunately, until I can get the Crusader over there. This definitely is coming down to positioning as we enter tier 2 15-minute mark. We're not doing bad, but we just don't have a good position on the map with what we're, well, like with the points that we're holding. So I'm trying to decide what to go for tier 2. I was thinking the AVRE at first, but it's got such a short range and on such an open map, I don't think it's going to be that effective. I could go with the Challenger, but the Challenger isn't really going to be good to deal with the infantry. So I go with the Crocodile Churchill. I'm hoping the armor of the Churchill, being a heavy tank, will kind of help it last long enough. And then I want to try to utilize the flamethrower to take out the buildings in the middle and maybe push him off that hill overlooking my point. But we see he went with the Jagdpanzer IV, so he does have a kind of natural counter to us, which is kind of slightly unfortunate. Challenger would have been a decent call, but again, at the time when I called in the Churchill, I was thinking more infantry. I'm not able to sustain my infantry numbers, and he's able to sustain his, so I need to be able to do something about that. And the Crusader AA is not doing enough in terms of this right now. We'll try to take control of our home point, and then from there, we're going to try to push into the middle. Once we've got our home point back and fully secured, as we can see he is now fully running off, we'll try to make a concentrated push that way. So we'll utilize the flamethrower, utilize HE, and utilize everything, because this thing has crazy range and arc, so we're able to get it up on the hill without having to crest the hill, which is really nice. While this is ongoing, we are losing, unfortunately, the hill yet again. So I gotta bring this half-track back over to come support, and I call in a second half-track with more infantry. We're gonna use the Croc to put some flames onto the one big building that I know he's got a ton of guys in. That building is always beneficial to the Axis. Usually I put a hole in the back of it with a Panzerfaust at the beginning of a match, just to give me an easy run-in. I don't believe Meow did that in this match, or at least I didn't see it and or look, so I don't think he did that. But at this point, I've got to get some guys up further onto this hill because I'm very nervous of a Panzerschreck sneaking up and taking me out. And here it's unfortunate, the 234 comes over, and I would have figured both half-tracks with the 50s would have been able to deal with it. We're able to take out some of the crew, but he absolutely shreds both half-tracks here, unfortunately. So, a big misplay on our end. We lose 2 half-tracks, 8 guys in the second one that we're going to reinforce that point. Huge misplay. So we are not playing the British very well at this point. We are kind of all over the place. I do see the AT team starting to come up, so I'm going to try to deal with them real quick. We at least get the Faust guy instead of the Shrek guy. He's got the Jagdpanzer in a position that I can't really push with the Croc. I might be able to, but I don't know if it's really going to be possible. But now I'm going to try to get the Crusader over into a position where it can kind of support the middle while we try to deal with what I see as I thought was a Panzerschreck, but it turns out the Panzerschreck I was slightly over in the smoke. But with this thing's crazy arc and range, we're kind of able to skirt him. He does get another shot on us, but he does, we tank it technically, he doesn't miss. And now we've got to try to get into this middle. I don't think we're going to be able to take the right back immediately. So middle is our option as yet another Panzer Shrek comes up. And we do tank that one as well, setting the guy on fire. But we're just losing infantry as soon as it pushes into the middle. We are not playing it very well. And I do bring in a fuel truck as well, because I don't want this croc to run out of fuel before I make a push into the middle. That's my plan, at least. We'll see if I can afford to wait for it. I'm pretty sure we do have some decent fuel still in there, but we'll see. And at this point, I see he's moving the Jagdpanzer IV over slightly, so I'm going to move the croc behind the building. We call in another half-track, and I decide to go all in with the croc at this point, since he did get first shot on me. I was coming around the building. I am going to bum rush. It is not a recommended strategy by any means. I am going unprotected at this point. We do utilize the flamethrower though to really kind of take out this infantry, but unfortunately he tracks us right out of range and we get a very unlucky turn. If we didn't turn slightly to the left when we got tracked, I actually think we probably would have been able to continue to put flames on him. It might have been able to maybe take him out. At this point, I don't think the croc is going to be long for this world. So I'm going to push the half-track over here. And we're also going to bring up the Crusader AA up this way. Although we are getting hit as soon as we get out because he's got guys everywhere. So I got to utilize this half-track. And what do you know? The 234 is still lurking right around the church. So yet another half-track down. That whole squad will be down as well. I'm trying to decide which target to go for. I decide to go for the 234 first. We do take it out. And then I'm trying to take out the Jagdpanzer IV from the side if I can. I rushed in the fuel truck to try to get rid of it. And I saw him on the minimap, but we're a little late. We're going to try to AP these guys. We do get them. But I unfortunately lose sight of the Jagdpanzer. So we take out the ammo crate. And then we engine the Jagdpanzer, but by this point he's just kind of rushing up on us. And we do go down. So in the span of probably 3-4 minutes, we lose 2 of our DP units. We have no heavy armor out on the field. We're going to call in another Crusader AA, because mathing-wise, my next buy for DP is going to be the Fireflies, the dual Fireflies. So I'm going to get the second Crusader out now to try to help deal with the infantry. And I'm calling in another half-track sand squad. So just heavy on the half-tracks this game. Heavy mechanized, which has not been working for us. As the Lafayette absolutely starts rinsing the guys inside. He misses with a Panzer truck there. He is reloading though. I'm trying to get the half-track out and away. He misses on that second one. Crusader A is moving up. I was gonna try to go for the Jagdpanzer IV, but he has actually already fixed the engine damage and the track. So there's no point in doing that. We'll just lose it. I'm going to try to finish off the 234x1 just in case he's repairing it. I'm going to try to get these guys spread out a little bit, call up another Piat team just to deal with any light armor that comes up. And we're still somehow holding our point with no infantry in it. So I'm going to immediately call in a new squad as well. And we're ticking up, obviously, with the 2-cap lead. But, I mean, the position we are in, I have never been less confident in being able to win this. there is just not much to say at this point. I'm trying to consider if I want to go with the Challenger, but I know he's going to go with the Yag Panther. And I have no idea if the Challenger would even be a good call at that point for it. So we shall see. My really only hope is to go with, I think the Fireflies would have a better shot against it. So we'll see. But he is making a very concentrated push. He brought in a half track of his own. We're going to try to get the Piat up there as the MG42 does take out our half track. I swear these British half tracks are like paper. I tried to switch targets and shoot the Piat into the squad because I figured that would do some pretty nice damage, but we do unfortunately hit the side of the building and take some heavy damage as well. His half track is just laying into us. So I immediately bring over the Crusader AA and another half track to try to deal with this. I'm going to try to get around. And we do get a decent shot on the half track. So we did get lucky there. We didn't take it out though, so that is a downside. I'm going to try to dig in with some of these guys because I know he's going to be coming shortly to try to retake this point. And he's also bringing over, as we can see, the Jagdpanzer IV as well. So I'm going to try to get the Crusader AA out of the way. He does crew shock us. Hits us with an affirmative. But we are able to thankfully kind of back up and out. So it's still alive for now. But we have lost pretty much all of our infantry. And I am still calling in half tracks full of infantry. So we've got another one here. Have not gotten the guys out of it yet. I do now realize that they are still in it. But we're going to actually hold on. And I'm going to try to mirror the Jagdpanzer to see if I can maybe get around. Because this track is carrying a Piat in it. This one we're going to call up to try and reinforce the hill. We're going to get these guys out here before the Jagdpanzer really has a good line of sight on us. And we're going to try to get these guys up. I'm going to smoke out. I see a couple guys behind the wood pile immediately, so I pull back the Piat. I don't want to go just yet and lose it. We do get a shot off, and it looks like we do believe hull break it. Yes, we did. So we did hull break the Jagdpanzer IV, so that's down. He's making a very concentrated push here, and we did lose the next half track we called in. So very unfortunate. We did repair the other one on the beach, so that one is up and running, so we can get that one up. I'm going to try to recrew the Piat so I can maybe finish off the Jagdpanzer IV, but there's just a ton of infantry here, so I doubt I'll be able to. I've got both half tracks, kind of getting his guys in that point in the crossfire, but we're fighting for our lives on this point as well, trying to hold it. And we are actually retaking our point, but just barely, so he still has some pretty heavy caplate guys in there, unfortunately. And we lost yet another half track on this flank. We probably lost like 5 or 6 or 7, I would say, by now. And he does have a MP call in for a 231 coming as well, so that will absolutely shred us too, if he decides to push it, which he is now. So I'm trying to bait him. We're just out of range, unfortunately. Should have probably played that a little better, and he is just going to be able to back out. And I don't realize this, but the Crusader A is just moving on up. So now I realize I gotta get it out of there because it is in a very bad position. If he has a Panzerschreck in there, or a Panzerfaust, or even a rifle grenade, I mean, it's done. So, at this point, I'm digging into my home point, although I need to be digging in further up instead of so far back. But I'm thinking that he's just going to come down the hill, and I'll be able to hopefully just shred him. But, I mean, he's done a great job of using smoke to his advantage. And I know we are now 12 or so seconds away from tier 3, so I'm already preemptively trying to position myself in areas that I want to be able to take advantage of these fireflies. So I'm going to call them in. I'm going to push one this way for now, because I want to try to get flank shots, especially onto like the Jagdpanzer IV and anything he pushes up onto that hill, because I should be able to reach it from kind of this upper ridge line. And we're leaving the other one in spawn for now, just to kind of hold off. I don't want to give the movement indicator that I'm going. So we see the Jagdpanther. I'm going to now move this guy slightly. I'm thinking I'm going to split them and try to distract with one and then try to get a side shot with the other. I feel like that might be my best chance. We've reinforced this point with some paras, so we are holding the cap weight, but this point is just slightly, it's got like a slight elevation that you can kind of lay on both sides. So he's just kind of laying in the point as I'm laying in the point as well. I'm bringing in an officer because I want to try to spot the Jagdpanther in the fog of war. And he is just using the 231 to kind of bully the guys that we have on our home point, which is really unfortunate. So I feel like I need to bring in the Firefly on the south side to try to deal with that, because I cannot give up my home point. If I give up my home point as of now, it's pretty much going to be game over. I feel like we had the shot. I thought I waited long enough, but we do ricochet off the wall. Before we can kind of get a second shot in, he does run off. And now I know it's probably over for this Firefly, because we did reveal ourselves. And if I were him, I'm pushing hard with the Jagdpanther. But I need to utilize this officer and try to spot it. So I'm going to try to look in the last known location. But I've got to move the officer up further to try to get a better line of sight. And to do that, I'm going to have to utilize this other squad I called in and start slowly moving him up. All the while, he's just pushing into our home point. And like right on the outside of our foxholes. So really unfortunate here for us. We do have enough DP that we could call in another vehicle as well, or another call-in if we want. So I don't see the Jagdpanther. We do see a pretty nice setup. Moving the officer forward. I'm trying to check the hill. Trying to see anything at this point on it. We did bring in another half track. We do see the Jagdpanzer IV here. So he's probably going to take out the half track, as we're going to lose it and most of the guys here as they're just going to get shredded by the MG. We did bring up this Firefly, and he gets a crazy good shot. Turrets it and takes out all but one guy. So the regular Firefly, not vetted, will go down. He did have the Jagdpanther over there as well, so he was waiting for it. We're going to try to maybe get a long shot. We'll go for the Jagdpanzer first. We hit the dirt again. Terrible, terrible play. Probably not waiting long enough. As was pointed out to me on some of my games, I do kind of rush the shot slightly. But very nervous about going against both of those vehicles, and obviously very warranted as we do go down. So with that, I mean, I have nothing to kind of deal with the Ag Panther now, so I know it's over. It's game. There's nothing I can really do. There's no way that I'm going to be able to effectively get anything up there to try to deal with that. And as we can see here, like 17 vehicle losses is not good. Not how you want to play this. So unfortunate we weren't able to kind of close this out on Meow for game 2. We are going to go to game 3, and now I would absolutely kind of expect him to play the Brits. So we will have to be ready to kind of counter that. I am going to still make this a fight for him by calling in another squad. I'm not even going to bother pushing my home point with these guys because they're just going to get absolutely shredded by the heavy vehicles as they run in. The vehicle gameplay was definitely our downside. Honestly, I mean, I guess it really wasn't even just the vehicle gameplay. It was even the infantry gameplay. But probably calling in the half tracks with the 8-man squads was part of the problem. We did absolutely terrible in terms of trying to keep these half tracks alive. As we can see, like this whole right point is just a graveyard of pretty much our vehicles and maybe a couple sporadic German ones. So Meow played it very well, especially with his infantry game. He was absolutely able to kind of match us, and we really weren't able to do much, if anything. We kind of had a false sense of hope midway through the game. So we hit him with a frown face as he's just shelling our guys behind the half track. He knows what he's doing. So very unfortunate. Let me know what you guys think I could have done differently, if anything. Would love to hear some suggestions for this one, but hopefully we can come back in game 3 and take it and make it to the finals. So hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you soon.